The New York Jets made an underrated hire today, and I'm excited about it. I think it bodes well for the New York Jets. What's going on, guys? Matt O'Leary here to talk some Rick Spielman. Yes, Rick Spielman, who helped the New York Jets throughout their GM and head coach search, is staying on with the New York Jets. He will be a senior advisor to Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji. Here's what he had to say on him taking the job.
I took a full-time job with the New York Jets as their senior football advisor. So what I'm doing, I'm going to be helping in any way I can with Aaron Glenn, with Darren Muji, the new general manager. Right now, my biggest project is trying to rebuild the football operation side of things. So there's a lot of changes going on up there, and kind of feel honored and privileged that they called me and asked me to be a part of it going forward. So a lot of phone calls, and any way I can help support the football ops side of it, that's kind of technically what my job is going to be.
It sounds like Rick Spielman's going to come in here with the main focus of rebuilding the New York Jets football operations and just front office in general. And this is something I think the Jets desperately needed to do. They've had guys in the organization, I'm not talking just GM and head coach, but people in the football side of the operations who were there for 15 plus years, for an eternity in the football world. And unfortunately, the Jets have not been successful in a very long time, and I think it's long overdue for new blood. And I think by hiring Rick Spielman, you are doing just that. He is going to be coming in as an advisor to those two guys, someone who's done the job as a general manager and successfully for a very long time. And he will also put, hopefully, the right people in place around both Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji to make their lives easier and hopefully make them one day a very successful franchise. This also adds an element of a somewhat of a buffer between Woody Johnson and the football side of the operations. Less Woody Johnson involvement is good, and I have to give Woody Johnson some credit here. I think he has said the right things this offseason. During the Aaron Glenn press conference, he said that it would be up to the GM and the head coach on the decision on Aaron Rodgers, and that he didn't, and he won't put his input on it. He hired them. He's going to let them do the job. According to Thomas Dimitroff, who's been interviewing all week down at the Super Bowl, Woody Johnson wasn't pushing for any sort of narrative, pushing any of his narrative or looking for any specific answer on the New York Jets and the state of the team. And this adds, again, another layer in between Woody Johnson and the rest of the football staff. And it also gives someone that both AG and Mugi can rely on, because he's been in that chair before. He ran the Minnesota Vikings from 2006 through 2021. He had a brief stop in Miami, just 1 year as the GM in 2004. But then from 2006 to 21, he was, de facto GM and VP of player operations. And then he was promoted to the GM, and they got another promotion. And they were pretty successful. They had multiple double-digit win seasons. They went to 2 NFC conference championship games under his watch. Unfortunately, they never got over the hump and won a Super Bowl. As we know, it's very difficult to win a Super Bowl in this league. But they were more successful than not. He was there for 17 years and he left with a winning record. That's very hard to do in this league. And if you look at what his brother, Chris Spielman, is doing with the Detroit Lions, it's essentially going to be that same kind of role. He was a part, Chris Spielman that is, he was a part of hiring the GM. He was a part of hiring Dan Campbell and bringing the right guys in there to serve that job in Detroit. And it's worked well. That turnaround has been very, very successful. And that's the exact same kind of formula that the Jets are going for here with Rick Spielman. Rick will serve the same role that Chris does out in Detroit. So you have Rick Spielman, you have Darren Muji, and you have Aaron Glenn. And hopefully even more new faces coming to the New York Jets and hopefully turning this thing around in the right direction. But this, Aaron Glenn gets the most excited because he's the face and he has all the great quotes. But this is underrated, sneaky, very important for the New York Jets, because this can finally, hopefully, fingers crossed, be the thing that keeps Woody Johnson away from this team. And that excites me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm Matt O'Leary. Subscribe if you're new, and I will catch you next time.